Today, 1 in 3 Australians suffer from an allergic disease, and what's alarming about that is that it was virtually unheard of 30 years ago. Among children, the incidence of food allergies has increased fivefold in just the past decade. Nobody's sure why, but as Nikki Wilson-Smith reports, one Perth doctor is determined to find the cause.
Feeling okay? Good girl. Yeah, how are we going there? Yeah, so blood pressure's okay. And her oxygen levels are fine, but she's certainly developing a little bit of a reaction there.
Her face is swelling, her airway is closing, and without treatment, this 4-year-old could die.
Let's have another little listen to your breathing. The chest is still clear, which is good.
All it took for Lucy Gray to be this sick was a small bowl of ice cream, which, unknown to her parents, contained traces of peanuts. A growing number of Australians like Lucy are suffering allergic reactions. Every week, the immunology ward here at Princess Margaret Hospital in Perth sees 50 new patients with allergies.
And I just go along and I touch each spot with them, and remember, it's not a needle.
Allergies are a significant and growing problem in Australia. Over the last 10 to 15 years, we've actually seen a significant increase in the number of food allergies, particularly in children.
Statistics show the number of children going to hospital with food allergies is 5 times higher than it was 10 years ago. Perth immunologist Dr Susan Prescott is so concerned by the trend, she's on a mission to find out why more children are getting sick.
It really is this new generation that's most affected with food allergy, particularly preschoolers who are bearing the brunt of this food allergy epidemic.
Through her research in paediatrics, Dr Prescott has managed to pinpoint some likely suspects, and the contributing factors appear to be the byproducts of modern life: poor diet, vitamin D deficiency, an obsession with cleanliness and environmental pollutants that didn't exist 30 years ago.
It's not going to be one factor that's causing this. It's likely to be a combination of these things, and we need to do a lot more research to understand how these environmental changes are affecting our immune development.
Okay, Riley, I need you to wash your hands, please.
One mother desperate for answers is Gemma Martindale. Her oldest son Riley was diagnosed with dairy, nut and egg allergy at 10 months old.
I thought, what am I going to feed my child? And then I also thought, okay, did I do something wrong in pregnancy? Is it something I've done? You know, is it hereditary? There were all sorts of things that impacted on, how I felt as a mother and what we were going to do for Riley.
Riley goes into anaphylactic shock at the slightest touch of a problem food.
I have to educate my younger children, and when we sit down and eat dinner, Riley's on one side of the table, we're on the other side. Constantly hand washing and just constantly being aware of what we're eating and whether or not we're near Riley.
More and more families like the Martindales are managing their children's allergies well into their teenage years. 17-year-old Adam Jackson is having a routine scratch test. His results are proof that it's not just the amount of allergies that are increasing.
Adding to the burden of disease, we've seen a rise in the persistence of these conditions. So we're seeing more and more children who still have their egg and milk allergy into their teen years.
About 40% of Australians will suffer from allergies. The latest Access Economics report shows it costs the economy nearly $8 billion every year. So it's little wonder it's fast becoming the next frontier in public medicine.
That is a work in progress as we try and understand the many environmental factors which are driving allergic disease. The very fact that the disease has arisen so quickly tells us that the immune system we can mould it. We need to mould it back in the other direction and use that same plasticity to try and prevent diseases.
The closest thing to a cure at the moment is called immunotherapy, where a patient is given tiny amounts of an allergen to increase their resistance. The results are looking promising, but the treatment doesn't work for everyone. The only thing scientists have confirmed is that the immune system is most susceptible early in life, and the problem is getting bigger by the day.
Well, it's very hard to guess what's going to happen next because we couldn't have really predicted this recent epidemic of food allergy. And we don't know what's in store for this current generation.
It's very important because we're talking about a condition that can cause the death of a child, and it's very important that we understand it.
In Perth, 4-year-old Lucy Gray's most recent reaction to peanuts means for her family the challenge of dealing with allergy isn't over.
Well, it's useful to know whether she's outgrown it or not, and clearly not quite yet.
Nikki Wilson-Smith reporting.